Hi, Joy Olson, BlockBuster Fundraising. Oh my goodness, just a few more days of fundraising left in 2019, and you know that you're going to really be relying on your powerful emails. So we thought that this is a perfect time to talk about how to put together a powerful year-end email. And unfortunately, there's no email formula that guarantees success. But we've rounded up some tips for you today that really will give you a fighting chance. First things first, sort out your database. You've got to do this by segmenting your donors and catering your email marketing towards these different segments. It's going to absolutely increase your donor relationships, how they feel about you, and your retention rates and your donations. Do not send a blanket email to donors that have been donating to you for years or are your monthly donors and act like you don't even recognize that. So you really do need to prevent your donors from experiencing the frustrating feeling that the content and the communications are irrelevant to them personally and kind of insult them because they don't even act like they know who you are, or that you've been donating forever, or that you are a monthly donor. Okay, so a donor who is given to your organization repeatedly over the months and years should definitely receive a different email than someone who has just signed up to your email list. So you're going to build relationships, you're going to build trust, and you're going to enable your nonprofit to strategically grow when you segment and make sure that your donors are getting a message that makes them feel that you appreciate them and know who they are, and you're going to want to know this. Okay, now secondly, you got to craft a powerful subject line. 35% of email recipients open email based on the subject line alone. Convince and convert. A great fundraising email isn't great if it doesn't get opened. It's as simple as that. This is why it's essential to craft a subject line. It's going to make your email stand out in inboxes. So here are a few tips then to improve your fundraising email subject line. Keep your subject line short, ideally 4 to 15 characters. Create a sense of urgency using words like urgent and important. Keep them accurate. While you can definitely get away with very creative subject lines, these subject lines always need to pertain to the content of your email. No misleading and deceptive subject lines are allowed. You also want to intrigue your readers or pose a question. This can really help increase your open rate. Try personalizing the subject line by using the contact's first name. Include the name of the sender. Test different days and times of the day and take note of those tests, because then you can use it for 2020 when you're sending out emails. You can say, hey, this time works better, this day works better. We've tested this. You can use rhymes, lists, alliterations, and more. They all perform well, but they also break the rules a little, but they get creative. So that's the tip. You can be creative. Hey, here's a pro tip here. MailChimp found that the following words are bad for open rates. Do not use these words: help, reminder, percent off. Okay, now we have an email coming up on the screen for you, and this WFP USA subject line creates a sense of urgency and focuses on a single individual to create a connection. 2 days left to help. That is a great way to get interest. Only 2 days left. Okay, thirdly, get your formatting right. Our attention span is increasingly shorter. We all know that. And very few people read long, elaborate emails, even if they're great. Most people are going to skim over the content. In addition to that, the time it takes an average user to make a judgment on your email is 50 milliseconds. Can you believe that? Not even a full second. Egads. Furthermore, with more and more users turning to mobile, the importance of a well-formatted email is higher than ever. They're going to be reading it on their phone. More than half of emails are read on a mobile device, and some studies claim that it's even more than that. So, here are a few tips to get your fundraising email formatted right. Keep it short, a couple of paragraphs long, ideally 2 to 3. Limit your paragraphs to 2 to 3 sentences. Choose descriptive headlines and subheads with active verbs and vivid nouns. These will grab your supporters' attention and nudge them into actually reading the text. Carefully craft the message in your preview snippet, and make sure the fundraising email looks good on mobile screens. The text should be big enough to easily read, and all the links should be easily clickable, and make sure those links work. Goodness sakes. And you really need to check it each and every day. Check it each and every morning, because it's not seamless. Sometimes you'll find that what works from one day to the next has gotten unlinked somehow, and you need to redo it. Just check to make sure. And also, make sure that your fundraising email isn't overcrowded and that the elements are surrounded by lots of space. Pick one typeface and stick with it. Limit yourself to 3 colors. Keep your backgrounds light and use your colors as accents only. Use big and bold imagery in your fundraising email to immediately engage your contacts and draw them in. Always, always include your organization's logo in the header of the email. Include your organization's contact information in the footer, and also an unsubscribed option. Now here's a pro tip. Make sure that your donation page is also mobile optimized, so your donors are not met with complicated, unmanageable form. We've gone over and over this. I really hope that you're mobile optimized, especially for the last 3 days of the year. And I can't tell you, if you've got a good campaign and good emails and you're ready for it, you can up your year-end results by a big percentage if you are really going for it. Okay, 4th, tell a compelling story, a good story. It's absolutely the foundation of a successful fundraising email, because we humans were hardwired to respond to stories. Stories have played an important role in human history. We've been using stories for thousands of years to convey knowledge, to educate, to share experiences, and connect to others. Research at Stanford University observed that we remember information more when it is conveyed as part of a narrative, up to 22 times more than facts alone. That's amazing, don't you think? So not only do we remember stories more than facts, but they evoked emotion and they move us to action. This is why storytelling is an incredibly powerful tool for nonprofits who have no shortage of compelling stories to tell. You know we've got great stories to tell, heart-rending stories, and storytelling gives the reader a glimpse into your world, and it reminds them why your mission is so important to them. Okay, now here are a couple of ways that you can employ storytelling in your fundraising email. Tell a story that pulls on the heartstrings. We're going to put up an example now of such a story by Charity Water. They are really good at telling stories, heartwarming stories. Check them out if you need inspiration. You have a protagonist. That's very important. A protagonist is your hero. It's easier to relate to an individual with a name then to a faceless group of people. One person versus a group. One person versus the poor in Somalia. You must remember that. And you want to use simple human language. Stay away from any industry jargon. Use compelling, the most compelling visuals you can find to go with the story. And tell stories that directly showcase the impact of your donors' contributions. Tell them exactly how the money will be used and what outcome will result from their donation. It's really important. You know, you can paint a mental picture with your words and appeal to all the senses. We internally mirror others' experiences, whether through sight, hearing, or reading. And you want to make certain that your email answers the questions. Why should I care? How will my donation help? Well, what do you want me to do? How do I help? Answer those questions. Focus on a specific program or an initiative. Don't include information about everything you do in one email. Fifth, use a single call to action. Using a single call to action doesn't mean that you ask only once in the email. In fact, many fundraising experts recommending asking readers to give 3 times throughout the email. They say they don't even see it, really, the first 2 times. However, don't confuse your readers. If your goal is to raise funds, don't also ask your readers to sign up for an event or to volunteer or to read your blog. Ask in a couple of different ways. For example, you could add a prominent donate button to your email that will lead your readers to your donation page or a link to your page within the copy. Additionally, you don't want your recipients to read your fundraising email and wonder what the point is. Don't beat around the bush and make your ask in the first 2 paragraphs. If possible, you make that possible. If you wait too long to make that ask, many of your readers will simply move on to the next email in their inbox. So here's a tip here. According to a meta-analysis of over 22,000 participants, which included 42 different studies, now listen to this, giving people the choice of not donating almost doubles the likelihood that they will donate. Isn't that interesting? Simply ask your readers to donate and then add some variation of the following phrase, but you are free to choose either way. I think that's really a good tip, interesting tip. 6th, demonstrate a tangible impact. So important. Crafting a story and a dramatic arc involve you presenting your readers with a problem, possibly through a story of a single individual, a solution, likely your organization's service, and inviting them to become a part of the solution, a call to action, and making them the hero. There's not going to be a solution without them. To really get your readers to donate, it's important to clearly show them how their donations are going to make a difference. So link the donation amounts to specific outcomes or results. Now here's something interesting. Millennials are very likely to stop donating if they didn't know how their donation was making an impact, or if the organization asked for support too frequently, or they didn't feel a personal connection with the organization. To motivate your donors to give, show them what their donations can achieve through specific examples. Show them that $50 could help you purchase school supplies for a student from a low-income family, or that $200 supplies the equipment needed to organize a river cleanup. Let them see a tangible result with a certain amount of donation that they can give. 7th, create an effective closing. One of the biggest challenges of writing powerful fundraising letters is the tone. It can be very hard to strike a balance between detailing the consequence of not acting. Without donations like yours, more children will have to go without food and clean water. That can induce guilt and discourage the readers from giving. But how about a positive and uplifting tone? Thank your donors in advance and tell them again why their contribution matters. It's during the close that you need to be particularly confident about why you're asking for donations. This is the time to really connect and be in tune with your donor. 8th, make it easy to give. Seeing that the main purpose of a fundraising email is to raise funds, making it easy for your readers to give is essential. Even if your email copy was perfectly crafted and your call to action was inspiring and compelling, if your readers click on your call to action and your donation process is complicated or confusing, you're going to lose them. If it's hard to read and interact with the website, let alone make a donation, users will give up before they've even started. And you can just make sure that whatever online donation system that you're using, that it works, that it's hassle-free, and it's optimized. And these tips come from DonorBox, which offers services like that. And I don't know who you're using, but hopefully you're going to work with them to make it very easy for you to raise more funds for your nonprofit. And here are some last-minute tips with whoever you're going to work with. Suggested donation amounts with descriptions to let your donors feel great by knowing what they're contributing to. An integrated employer donation match. A recurring giving option. And be sure to replace a recurring giving option on your form, and you're going to see higher donor retention rates. You really are. And then remember this, and this is so important, optimization for desktop, for mobile, and for tablets. You want to make sure that it looks good and works well on all three. And make sure that you're accepting donations on your Facebook page. Consider a donation thermometer to encourage more donations to show them if you're getting to your goal. And consider multiple payment gateways, like so many right now, Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal. Anyhow, you get it. And here's a tip here in this area is offering your donors the opportunity to sign up to a recurring giving program is a great way to boost your donations. And it also helps your nonprofit make better financial projections and plan. You can plan in accordance with when you have, you know what's coming in each month. Okay, let's talk a bit about your holiday emails, because here comes New Year's. A majority of charitable giving happens during the holidays. You know that. And email is not just a fantastic way to capitalize on that. It's necessary. That's why we're here today talking about it. So, take for example the boom of charitable donations on Facebook right now in lieu of birthday or holiday gifts. It's telling. It suggests that people make donations in honors of others rather than give them material gifts. And here's what I think too. In the last few days, maybe people have gotten presents from people that they've forgotten, and all of a sudden they'll have an opportunity to donate in honor of someone's favorite charity, and they're going to do it as a gift. You're going to see a holiday message on the screen right now that is a straightforward example of how nonprofits can solicit donations during the holidays, ultimately framing the donations as gifts. So take a look at that right now. And don't be afraid to push for donations during the holidays, because people expect it. Hey, and they're ready to answer the call, so be there calling. Okay, 5th, you can also put out number and statistic-based emails. You might be nearing a goal and you want to use some numbers, and standing out in your subscribers' inbox It's usually a pretty uphill battle, but numbers and statistics in your subject lines are a way that you could immediately grab somebody's attention. And here are a couple examples. There are 844 million people without access to clean water worldwide. 1 in 5 children lacks proper access to food annually in the United States. Now, there's 2 dramatic examples, and you want to build them into the body of your email as well. So check out now how the example we're going to put up on the screen use stats to grip people and demonstrate the intensity and the urgency of a situation. Take a look at that now. Another way to both educate and grab your reader's attention is by including an infographic within your email. And this one that we're going to put on the screen right now is Habitat. It comes from Habitat for Humanity of Florida, and it sheds light on the sort of figures that nonprofits can integrate into their marketing campaign. Take a look at that. 6, matching donation emails. Donation matches are the #1 factor that invites donors to give more, according to data from Double the Donation. The same report noted that 84% of donors would be more likely to give if their donations were matched. So, reserved for special promotions and use sparingly, messages like this one from WE, we'll put up on the screen right now, tend to resonate with readers. The notion of doubling your impact combined with a hopeful copy, it's never too late to change the world, makes this one a winner. It's good, isn't it? Very succinct, very to the point. While you can run a donation match during any campaign, it's really a great tool to leverage, especially during the holidays. So there you have it, some of the best tips that we can think of right now to give you for these final days of 2019, crafting those wonderful emails. Please remember, you're going to send out at least 3 emails on December 31st. Use some of your best stories. Be succinct, be compelling, be excited, because you're going to be amazed at how well these year-end emails and stories can work for you when you take the time to craft them well, use great subject lines, great stories, great images, ask at least 3 times per email. So anyhow, we're excited for you. JoyOlsonGroup.com, BlockBusterFundraising.com, lots more information in both places. We have a great YouTube channel that gives you hundreds of free fundraising videos. We go live every week, 1 p.m., and we hope to see you on Instagram too, IGTV. We're there for you. Hey, Merry Christmas to you. Have a great Christmas week. Thanks for being here today. We appreciate you, and we are excited for your year-end fundraising goals. Bye-bye. Thanks.